Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome to Young Titan World. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be talking about one particular TV show, one of which has turned into one of my very favorite. I'm talking about none other than Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Now, if we know anything about that, we already know the first movie that came out, which was by Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. And boy, was that a steamy, hot, sexy, and full of action movie that we all loved and we all got attached to. So having a TV show that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 episodes full of that kind of stuff is nothing short of incredible. Now, I must say for sure that I did not expect it to go down that path. It seems like there is a whole universe that we're not exactly used to. So it's like this entire concept that established itself on two partners coming together to go on very dangerous missions. Now, the original Mr. and Mrs. Smith was, about this couple that is both working for a spy agency and they're supposed to go out and kill some people and come back and pretend that they're a normal family. Now, it gets to a point where they realize that they are both spies and they try to kill each other, all right? That is what we know. At least that's what I know about the Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right? So, but this one takes an interesting turn. It talks about both of them being sent into the same agency, but they're working as Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And the concept here is that they should go around performing tasks for a person called Hi Hi, or at least they don't know who he's called, so they call him Hi Hi. The others call him either superior soup. I don't know why you call the guy who's above you soup, but okay, I know it's like superior or supervisor, but I just kind of think soup sounds like, the one you drink. Anyways, so it goes down this path where two complete strangers are supposed to come together and form a bond whilst they go around taking down people and doing all of these missions, okay? All of which they're supposed to do together as a team. Now, as they go, things become more complicated because it feels like it's two pieces of bread mushed together to form one loaf, and it's pretty difficult in order to do that because it's very intense, as each and every single character within this is having a completely different concept. It's like everyone is built differently. Everyone has their own way of working. Sorry, that's weird. That shit has never happened before. So the thing is, they both, they're different kinds of engines, okay? They run on different pieces of fuel, and one is a complete sociopath, which is Mrs. Smith, who's Jane, also known as Alana. And then we have John Smith, who is also Michael. Now, these are both played by very great actors, one being Donald Glover, and Mrs. Smith being played by Maya Erskine. Now, these characters are both of which very enthralled into these characters that they have all been summoned into. And even Donald Glover is actually one of the directors in some of the episodes, so it's actually very intriguing to see his kind of directing style, because he's also the same kind of guy that we found in Atlanta, and everyone thought Atlanta was absolutely amazing. Now, the complications that we see between them is nothing short of incredible, because I can tell you that I was more in it for the way they reacted with each other than the way the missions were carried out in any manner at all. It's like I was just there because of how they interacted with each other, how Mr. and Mrs. Smith were just getting along, because it was very interesting. It was very interesting because you have two people who have no idea who each other are. They try to open themselves up to the possibility of working together, and they actually fall in love. But this love comes at a cost, and they're both trying to find a way to get closer together. But it's also very difficult because each one is complicated in their own way. I want to talk more about this, so this is gonna be part one. And part one, I'm gonna start by saying, if you haven't watched it, please do. please do, because when we decide to go deeper into this shit, I am not gonna apologize to anyone about spoilers, okay? Because I kind of feel like we're past that, okay? If you have known us for this long, you know that we are unrelenting in our attempts to explain the concepts that fall behind movies. And I think that speaks a lot for everyone, really. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Until next time, I hope you guys take care of yourselves. Until next time. Well, said that twice. Young Titan out. Thank you for listening. Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome to Young Titan World. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be talking about a TV show that we've already talked about, but this is going to be part 2. You know it. It's going to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Now, after being able to talk about how wonderful I found the show and how interesting the storyline was, I want to go deep into both of the characters, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Now, I've already said that it was played by Donald Glover and Maya Erskine, both of which are really amazing actors. I really love the whole Gambino mannerisms that Donnie put into his character, because how he was holding the guns, how he was shooting, even how he was reacting to stuff was just straight up American Psycho, but black. And I loved every single part of it. And I also said that it's none other than the way that they interacted with each other. That was, for me, the peak, because I feel as if sometimes relationships are overrated. Even though their relationship was fast-paced, because they were just put together as husband and wife, it seems like they went through the entire curve in a very hot minute. And regardless of that, they showed everything that a couple itself or a regular couple would usually show. Like, for instance, the distrust, the fact that there is jealousy, and mainly the fact of how people who are not necessarily on the same page. Because, I feel as if every time we have a movie or we have a TV show, we have love expressed in a genuine kind of way. If the girl is jealous, she will outwardly come and say it. Or she would, do the whole avoidance thing, or she would try and make it seem more profound. She would probably hit you, punch you on the chest and tell you that, okay, what you're doing, I don't like it. It looks like you're cheating on me. No. I loved that cold, distorted form of love. That shit where you can't figure out whether the person likes you when you do crazy shit, or when you do off the top shit, or it's like you go out of your way to just make things worse, and the person does not even give a fuck, but they're hurt inside. It's crazy. It's crazy, because that kind of love is what we see nowadays. That sort of cut off from emotion, stoic kind of behavior when she's cheating on you, or when she's saying something that's supposed to hurt your feelings. You don't feel anything. You rather laugh it off or say something funny, or you don't even give a crap. That's the kind of stuff that happens in real life, in day-to-day activities. That's why people say that they're meta or they're alpha, because they pretend like they don't have any feelings, but it's hurting them on the inside and they don't say shit. And that is what I really loved about the show. Now, yes, we're talking about two killers, or two very good contract killers who are going from door to door trying to murder people who have been put on their assignment list. That is basically the premise of their jobs, all right? And with that, we realize that they also are actually falling in love with each other. But it seems like the work itself, the people who are in charge of the jobs, or the people who are in charge of the work, are not people that want them to necessarily fall in love with each other. We want you to have a partner. We don't want you to have a love buddy. That's completely different. And to them, they're ready to replace whomever or whatsoever does not seem like they're fitting the bill. So to have a romance in the middle of all that is just chaotic, and that is exactly what both of them are doing. They don't care. They don't give a crap. And so we see this relationship progress and degress on so many levels. It's like I have never seen a more profound way of talking about relationships than with them. It's not the kind that is saying flirty words to each other or making your heart skip a beat every single time they say words of affection. It's the one that is cold, the one that is fucked up. It's the one that doesn't look like it exists, right? Something very bad has to happen to you before you can even figure out that they love you that much. It's like, I remember during the time last year, we had an earthquake. And during that time, I wasn't talking to one of my friends. And I kind of assumed that, okay, it is during that time that we both wanted space and stuff like that. I don't know who started it. Maybe it was me, because I do love keeping my distance. But yeah, I was mainly in that zone where I wasn't really up for chatting. So an earthquake happened here in Morocco. And when it did, that person was one of the few people who called me to check up on me to know if I was okay. He or she couldn't meet me, or they couldn't reach me, so they decided that they were going to use one of my friends to get in touch with me. So they called my friend and they asked him or her, and it's like they couldn't reach them as well. So it kind of it was very difficult for them to actually get in touch with me. And that was oh my God, they actually care. That same kind of feeling, that same kind of expectation, it's like something incredibly bad has to happen to you before they even turn your way to give a fuck. Because in reality, whatever feelings or emotions, or chances are there are no feelings or emotions. They just don't want to look like the bad guy. But hey, that's what happens. I feel like if anyone wants to really get ahead, or what it feels like to be in such a relationship, they should really watch it, because sometimes it might even be those who are in the spectrum, those who don't really know how to convey emotion, those who like to mimic other people's expressions to seem like they have a normal human interaction with everyone. And I'm not saying that it's bad. Usually when people try to mimic those around them, it is because they don't know how to have their own. They don't trust the emotions that they have. They don't trust the expressions that they have. They think that what they have are not real, or at least they're not expressive enough. And that's what I found out. When I was making reactions for my YouTube videos, I realized that there was one inadequacy that always seemed to bug me so much. And that was when I was literally seeing something funny, but not laughing in the way that I should. I think the therapist that was talking to them said that when people see cameras on them, they start behaving inorganically. I don't know. Sometimes I stifle laughs when I'm not even supposed to, when there's no one around, when there's even absolute silence. So in a case where I'm supposed to react and be lively, that's gonna be problematic. It's like I'm supposed to have all those conversations that I usually have in my head to come outside my mouth. And I've been taught not to do that. That's the craziest thing. Because every single time that I talked, every single person around me has said I am crazy, or you are only mad if you do that. That is very problematic too. If you grew around people that don't like the idea of you talking, that definitely puts sort of a hindrance in how you choose to express yourself. I personally have that sort of issue where I don't know how to express myself if I don't talk. I don't know how to say how I feel, or I don't know how I'm supposed to feel unless I say the words or unless they come out of my mouth. Because if they don't come out of my mouth, chances are I'm not even gonna know what to say or how to say it. So it's really crazy for me. But honestly, I think mainly it becomes this very interesting piece of myself that I used to understand, and I used to think it was normal that every single person also wanted to talk. But I guess they didn't. That's going to be it for the part 1. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. I hope you take care of yourselves and everything. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye.